Hello, and welcome to the Borealis Experience. I'm your host, Aurora. It is Sunday morning, and I decided to record an episode today for men only. Of course, I'm going to see in my analytics of my episodes here how many women actually listened. But yeah, let's see what we have to say. What I have to say here on my little podcast show about self-care for men. Why do I feel like we have to separate self-care between masculine and feminine energy? I believe in polarity. I believe that opposites attract. And this is why I can see that self-care for men can look very differently than self-care for women. Maybe I'm totally screwing this up and men will be approaching me and telling me this is absolute bullshit, but I'll just give it a try. And we see what comes out. I'm also excited if there is feminists approaching me soon, because I will be posting more and more about this topic, because I feel there's a need for it. And my puppy in the background is crying here right now because he wants the attention. But it will all be fine. I'm very open for discussions. So let's dive in. Self-care for the masculine. First off, if you know who Joe Rogan is, then I don't have to talk about it any further. If you don't, check out his podcast, because I feel during COVID, especially, so when we can't get together and mingle with our friends, with our sisters and brothers out there, Joe Rogan's podcast is really awesome to listen to, and you feel kind of part of a cool masculine conversation there. Very engaging and very interesting topics they talk about there. And another person I'm highly fond of is Jordan Peterson. He was gone from social media for quite some time, had really deep struggles and suffered a lot, and now he's back on stage, he's back out there and helping especially men with mental health problems, and is standing up for men, and it's very interesting how he sees things, and the work he does is extremely valuable and important for our society. So what do guys do when they want to take care of themselves? I would say drinking, partying, video games, Netflixing, maybe porn, hooking up with random girls, fast food. That's kind of the image I have. And please know, again, if that's the first time you're listening to me, I'm just talking about my thoughts, my experiences. And if you think it's different, then please message me and we can talk about it. So that is, I think, what people mainstreamly think that guys do when they take care of themselves. But today I want to talk about the really deep, nourishing practices that you can do as a man when you're by yourself, instead of indulging in ice cream and fast food or 10 hours of video gaming. So a bath is really awesome. If you have a bathtub, then please use it once a week or once every 2 weeks, because it really feels so awesome to have your skin completely soaked and covered in warmth. And showers, of course, are good too, but a bath is a little different. And then watch your food. That's a no-brainer, I would say. Talking to a friend on the phone. Some guys, I think, have to overcome the fear of coming across as too feminine. And if you have friends who would look down on you, then maybe it's time to find new friends who you really can talk to on the phone, especially now when we can't meet up with each other. And it has to be a person that really makes you feel good too. And it doesn't matter if it's an acquaintance or a family member or a friend. It's really important that you choose a person that inspires you, that you look up to, and who truly cares about you, because that can make you feel so good. It can literally make your day. And then exercising. How do you approach exercising? A lot of guys out there, girls too, but guys just as much, feel very uncomfortable in their skin, and they exercise and do all these heavy lifting stuff because they want to change, they want to be someone different. And so they approach exercising with kind of a punishment mentality instead of making it a joyous experience. So if you go and do sports, maybe observe yourself what your main motivation is. Is it weight loss? Is it wanting to build up muscles because you feel insecure? Or is it like those hormones that come out, the oxytocin, and just taking good care of yourself that is motivating you to exercise? And then when we think about now COVID, how does it feel for you? I don't know in which situation you are. Maybe you live with roommates. Maybe you live back home now. You had to move back to your parents or maybe a sibling. How do you feel about your living situation? Because that too highly affects how you feel about yourself. Do you feel isolated? Do you feel lonely? Do you feel frustrated? Do you feel scared regarding the future or jobs? Maybe you lost your job, or maybe you are at a cross section where you have to make a decision. And do you have people around you who can support you, or who can leave you alone with asking questions about what you're going to do in the future? And then in general, are you okay being alone, or does that feel uncomfortable? Like when you look at yourself now, when you're by yourself, are you engaging in distractions or even destructive, self-destructive behavior? Do you feel like you have to fill up your time with Netflix and video games or drinking or porn to feel okay about yourself? Or can you imagine just, spending time with yourself, quality time, like you would with a dear friend? Can you imagine reading a book or going for a walk or doing something that really deeply connects you back to yourself again? Or you go and get a recipe from Google and really cook something nice and nourishing for yourself. So those are things that we can do that are truly good for ourselves, instead of engaging in binging things that are not good for your mental health and your physical body. Then do you feel understood by your family and friends in general now? Do you feel that they get you, that they are good with who you are and they don't want to change you? Another thing I want to talk about today is crippling expectations. Maybe you have a girlfriend or parents who you feel have expectations from you, and you feel you have to fulfill them, otherwise they will react dramatically and put you in a really uncomfortable position. I feel expectations are the number one thing that can destroy relationships, and sometimes, most of the times, also makes a family member feel like the black sheep and the person who doesn't want to belong to the family, because it gives you that deep feeling of not being enough, not being okay with who you are, and no one wants to feel that. Everybody wants to feel acknowledged and seen and appreciated for who they are. And if someone comes along that you truly care about, but they have those expectations from you that you can't fulfill, then it just makes you feel so shitty about yourself. And it's very hard to get out of a situation like that. So this is just a quick intro into man's health, into mental health for men. And again, I want to separate it from women, because I would approach mental health for women very differently. If this is the right approach, give me feedback. If this is the wrong approach, give me feedback. It'd be awesome. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue like I did right now today. I hope I was not talking too fast. Take good care, you warriors out there, because we need you. We truly need you. Every woman who says that she doesn't need a man in her life didn't get the memo. Like, I think I said it in previous episodes too. Here it is not about if you have a penis or not. It's all about if you feel you're living in your masculine energy or if you're living in your feminine energy. And we need each other. Like, a woman could never convince me to say that we don't need men and we can do everything on our own, and that equality is the key, because I don't believe that equality exists. Polarity exists, where opposites attract and opposites support each other. We complement each other. And if we are completely like clones, if we are exactly the same, then it won't function. There has to be some polarity in order for us to function as a beautiful, strong, resilient society. So this was the first episode about men's health. I truly hope that you find peace today, that you feel understood and seen, and that you know that you're a badass person, because your energy is unique and no one can replace you. You are one of a kind, and we need you out there shining brightly. Until next time, take good care. Bye-bye, Aurora. Hello and welcome to the Borealis Experience. I'm your host, Aurora, and I'm very excited for today's episode number 31. Thank you so much for supporting my podcast, listening to my meditations and my inspirational talks on a regular, downloading, subscribing, sharing, liking, all means so much to me, and I feel highly motivated to continue and to bring you peace and love and reconnection with yourself, really. I feel that's the most important thing we can work on when we live in confinement, COVID isolation, or when we have time for ourselves. Yesterday's episode was for men only. I talked about self-care for men and mental health, and if you're curious enough, then please go ahead and listen to it. Of course, it's open for everybody. And today's episode is for the ladies out there. Let's get started. I hope you feel beautiful. I hope you feel good in your skin. I hope you enjoy your body and are at peace with what you have or what you might not have, that you focus on the things that you have in your life instead of what could be, should be. So if we come talking about the body, how's your relationship to food? Do you restrict? Do you punish yourself? Do you feel shame? Or do you have a very natural approach to food intake? I think food intake is one of the most important things in life that can keep us sane and healthy. But us ladies, we have that deep connection with food and beauty and maybe anxiety to lose the beauty of our body at some point, so aging. And this podcast here is for you to be at peace with yourself finally, and to let go of expectations and to let go of pressure and self-hate and self-destruction, and just enjoying your body, pleasuring yourself, being there for you when you really need it, instead of seeking it from outside sources. When it comes to mental health, I could ramble around for hours. But when it comes to mental health, I want to focus with you ladies on the self-talk. So when you are in a group of people, which is probably not possible at the moment with COVID, but will be possible again in the future. But what are your thoughts when you are among girls or with guys in a group of people? Do you feel jealous? Do you compare yourself? How do you feel in your skin? Then when you are with yourself and when you're trying to get things done, or when you're trying to take good care of yourself, where is your mind then? Is your self-talk very positive and warm and soothing, or is it very harsh and critical? Then we have the soul. The soul. Have you found your purpose yet? Do you know what you are here for on planet Earth? How about having children? Did you think about it recently? Is it a thought that crosses you on a regular, or do you not waste any time when it comes to being pregnant and having a child? And a very interesting question someone asked me before was, do you see yourself as a child avoider? Do you avoid any kind of contact with children? Do you see yourself as an aunt? Or do you see yourself as a mother? And just know that there's so many roles that you can fulfill on this planet Earth that are so needed out there. And it doesn't have to be motherhood, right? Like, I don't want to see or hear you suffering from society expectations and expectations from your family that you have to have a child, or any expectation really, but especially when it comes to having children, because you are so much more than just a baby bearing machine. And if you are the plain mother and this is your goal, then please stick to it and blossom and cherish and relish everything about it. This is just for the girls who maybe don't know yet, or maybe don't want to have children. Just know that you are deeply needed in society, even if you don't choose to have children. So let's go back to the physical. How have you been feeling physically lately? I know January can be a very tough month, physically, because of Christmas and we may be overindulged in food, but it's also, if your Christmas was not really present this year because of COVID, it is a very dark month. It is a month of coming to an end with last year and new beginnings and uncertainty and even like the light. I really call it the dark month. The light of the sun is still very low and doesn't really give us much energy. So we have to give these things to ourselves. I don't know much about you, and as I said previously in my last episode, I'm working on a website because I'm burning to know who you are and what you are struggling with, to make this podcast more of an experience for yourself. So I don't know where you're at when it comes to your physical body. One thing I want to mention is I had a friend back then in high school, and after she showered, she always took the time to put lotion on her skin, and I was always the kind of girl who it all had to go fast, and I wanted to be ready as fast as possible. I used makeup, but I don't know, I didn't really cherish those moments. So maybe next time you have a shower, you can take an oil or a body lotion and just massage your wrists and your forearms and maybe your upper arm, and then your thighs and your calves and your feet, and just take a moment and appreciate your healthy body. If you have a healthy body, then know that you're blessed and that we should be thanking our bodies every day for the service they provide us. If you say that in English, you know what I mean. If you're struggling with health issues, then maybe you can focus on the body parts that are not aching, that are healthy, and focus on those parts and encourage your body to be healthy again and help him out, because your body always wants to fight and does everything for you to be in a healthy state. So if you support it from like the outside with your hands and massaging it, then you can do a lot of good. And another thing is meditation. When you sit in meditation and find that peace, that stillness, then a lot of the times we can reconnect with ourselves and send gratefulness into our heart. And that feeling that we then carry out into the world, that deep feeling of calm, soothing, healing vibe, carries out to other people. And that is what people perceive as beauty. And you being at peace with yourself will also help you to let go of habits like smoking, like binge eating, emotional eating, or if you're on the other side of the spectrum, like not eating enough, punishing yourself. It can bring you back to your initial, like to your core. And this is why those meditations here are so critical for me to post, because this is how I learned to be at peace with my body. And I'm 35 years old, and I think I've never been happier in my skin than I am now. I don't weigh myself. I don't judge myself anymore. I think that's the hardest thing to do when you look at yourself in the mirror. But I really came to peace with what I have and enjoy my body way more than I used to. So meditation just connects you back to yourself and makes you appreciate the healthy body that you possess, and makes you want to take care of it. Like when you can imagine a young mother or a pregnant woman, how she kind of rubs her belly and feels good in her body and knows that there's something growing inside of her. I strongly believe that we as women, we don't need to be pregnant to send that deep appreciation and happiness into our body cells. We can do it right now in the moment. So as you can hear maybe in my voice, I get really emotional, and this is so dear to my soul to get this message out there, because so many women out there are so beautiful and they can't see it themselves. And through this podcast, I want to remember you of who you were and of how beautiful you are and of how much we need you out there to shine your light. All right, this was the first episode for you ladies out there. I hug you so much. And maybe spoil yourself to a little meditation here, or have a good warm shower and put some oil onto your skin afterwards. Until next time, this was me, Aurora. Bye-bye.